The wind cuts through the desert like a whisper from another age. Heat ripples across the earth, bending the horizon, distorting time itself. Beneath the golden blaze of the sun, a cliff wall looms, smooth in places where no hand should have reached, carved with precision that mocks erosion. The sound is there again, that low, humming vibration, older than language. The air trembles as if remembering something immense. Was this cliff once a harbor for gods? A cradle for ships that flew before the first cities rose? Beneath the dust, something stirs, stone that breathes, rock that remembers. The mountain waits, its secret locked behind silence and sand, daring humanity to listen once more. The storm has passed, but the echoes remain. The cliff stands unscathed, as though the desert itself avoids touching it. Symbols ripple faintly beneath the sand now gathered at its base. Each mark feels deliberate, mathematical, not ritual, not art. The silence presses close, heavy with anticipation. This is not a tomb. It is something waiting to awaken. By dawn, the carvings have changed. Fine new lines appear, as if drawn overnight. The hum is steady now, rhythmic, purposeful. Beneath the surface, echoes travel like blood through veins. Machines, or memories of them. The mountain seems to breathe, slow and steady, as though listening for a command. The team descends into a fissure revealed by shifting sands. Inside, walls of polished black stone reflect their torchlight like water. Patterns stretch across the ceiling, not pictographs, but star charts. Impossibly accurate. They are not discovering history. They are entering it. They emerge into a cavern, a hollow vast enough to house a city, its ceiling lost in darkness. Smooth metallic ridges line the walls, curving inward like ribs of some colossal vessel. The hum is no longer distant. It beats beneath their feet. The air vibrates with memory. The carvings weren't warnings. They were instructions. The chamber is alive. The walls exhale a faint mist that tastes of metal and rain. The carvings shimmer in a pulse too steady to be random, as if following a hidden rhythm beneath the stone. Instruments begin to fail. Lights flicker. Somewhere inside the rock, a soft resonance vibrates through the air, forming patterns on the sand like a language of sound. The explorers exchange silent glances. No one dares speak. What could hum inside a mountain for 10,000 years? The echoes feel sentient, responding to breath and movement, learning them. This place does not remember. It observes. Every echo in the chamber carries form and intent. When the air vibrates, dust spirals upward, shaping symbols in motion before collapsing again. The hum changes pitch, then settles into a harmonic drone, steady, mathematical, hypnotic. It is not random. It listens, responds, adapts. Stone that should be dead seems aware, its texture rippling with faint warmth. The explorers realize the impossible. The carvings react to their presence. Each breath awakens a new symbol. Each movement alters the light. The cliff is watching them. The hum deepens. A faint tone echoes through the fissure. Low, steady, deliberate. From within the cliff, a new shape appears. A panel of carved stone with smooth metallic edges, engraved in spiraling rings. When touched, it vibrates like skin over bone. The light flickers to life again, forming a circular field above the floor. A map of stars no one recognizes. It flickers, expands, then stabilizes. Not a carving, a record. The stone holds memory, coded in light. The team stands before it, breathless, watching the universe unfold from inside a mountain. Symbols ignite along the walls, not letters, but schematics. Each figure connects through threads of light, forming shapes too complex for ritual. There are curves, angles, interlocking chambers, mechanical precision. The carvings reveal designs, pistons, propulsion conduits, containment rings. What they took for worship is instruction. It is a blueprint etched in rock, written by those who built machines that flew from stone. Their purpose was not faith, it was flight. The vibrations shift again, not menacing but resonant like an exhale. Dust falls and ripples as though carried by sound waves. The air thickens, charged with electricity. A pulse rises through the ground, steady as a heartbeat. The carvings glow once more, then dim to darkness. Silence returns, heavier than before. The team breathes out as if released from unseen gravity. The mountain sleeps again, but not fully. It has shown them something, just enough to prove it lives. Morning light filters through the fissure, falling across the carvings like molten silver. The chamber glows softly, no longer mechanical, but almost sacred. For the first time, the shapes on the wall form figures, tall, elongated silhouettes standing before the outline of a descending vessel. Their heads tilt skyward, arms raised, surrounded by spirals of light. The explorers realize these are not myths carved by fearful tribes. They are records, witnesses immortalized in stone. The figures are human, yet not. Their proportions defy reason, their presence serene. Were they the ones who came before? Or were they the ones who never left? The carvings begin to tell a story. Across the stone, the same figures now stand beside pyramidal structures, beneath a sky filled with radiant streaks. The explorers trace the sequence, realizing it depicts an arrival, not a legend, but an event. The sky burned. The earth split. Then came silence. But here, on these walls, the story continues. The beings teaching, building, leaving. It is a timeline, one that predates all known civilizations. The team stands in a trance, watching millennia unfold in shadows and light. At the chamber's center lies a new discovery, a ring of stone, perfectly circular, embedded with metallic veins that catch every flicker of light. Around its rim are carved figures kneeling in formation, their hands pressed to the ground. Above them, the same craft, a great wingless vessel. Its design is impossible, seamless, aerodynamic, more advanced than any known human creation from antiquity. The explorers realize they are standing inside a memorial, a story preserved by technology masquerading as geology. The hangar was never a myth. It was once a port. Deep in the walls, a hidden corridor reveals scenes no one has ever recorded. Long rows of beings standing shoulder to shoulder, gazing toward the stars. Their faces are calm, eyes hollow yet alive. Beneath them, intricate glyphs spiral in fractal patterns, repeating symbols found nowhere else on Earth. Nadia traces them and gasps. The pattern mirrors human DNA. Malik scans it, reading Spike into the impossible. Elena steps back, realization dawning. The carvings are not symbolic. They are instructions for life. Night descends once more. The team returns to the outer chamber, where the stars stretch in silence above the fissure. The hum is gone, replaced by a low throb like distant thunder. Every discovery feels smaller now beneath the weight of what they've seen. The carvings no longer seem alien but ancestral. The same patterns that pulse in human blood glow faintly in the cliff's veins. As the wind sighs across the desert, one question remains. Were we made here? Or did we return? Beneath the carvings lies a deeper chamber, hidden until the earth itself seemed to part. The passage descends in perfect geometry. Walls smooth as glass, edges sharp enough to sing. Light from their torches bends unnaturally, refracting into beams that converge on a single stone arch. Symbols hum faintly on its surface, each pulse synchronized like a heartbeat. When touched, the walls resonate, responding with vibrations that align into melody. The cliff is no longer silent. It speaks in tones, in rhythm, in data. The mountain carries memory, not myth, but design. What they once thought sacred now feels engineered. At the chamber's core lies a panel of seamless black stone, set into the wall like a window. When Malik wipes away the sand, it responds, glowing in lines that form intricate circuits. Each filament pulses with golden light, then rearranges into shifting geometric patterns. Nadia begins recording feverishly. The shapes change faster, responding to her movements. Elena realizes the truth. It's not decoration, it's code. The rock is storing information, waiting for someone to read it. But the symbols twist and pulse, as if guarding themselves. Ancient intelligence resisting intrusion. The resonance intensifies. The circuits flicker and a pulse of light bursts from the panel, projecting a lattice of symbols across the chamber walls. The explorers freeze, surrounded by streaming lines of pure light that weave through the air like living strands. They form spirals, grids, structures, schematics too complex to decipher, yet hauntingly familiar. Malik's scanner buzzes, identifying metallic traces within the stone that should exist, alloys unknown to modern science. The mountain isn't natural, it's a construct, a machine forged from rock, still pulsing with purpose. As the light fades, something remains. An impression burned into their minds, patterns too clear to forget. The carvings, the code, the geometry, all align to a single function: energy. Lines traced along the rock match the blueprint of an engine, one vast enough to lift the mountain itself. The explorers realize that what they stand within is not a tomb or a temple, but a power source buried in the earth, dormant for eons. Malik's scanner blinks red, overwhelmed. The readings suggest electromagnetic fields, stronger than lightning, woven through the cliff like veins of metal. The hangar sleeps, but the current never dies. Hours pass in silence, broken only by the rhythmic pulse of energy beneath their feet. Then, without warning, the lights return. Dim, flickering, almost hesitant. The walls throb faintly, as though responding to their presence once more. The code rearranges itself, forming a single continuous spiral that glows like liquid fire. It spins slowly, then stops, aligning perfectly with the ancient star map above. The explorers stand breathless. The carvings, the chamber, the hangar, all were part of a system. The message is clear. This was never a ruin. It was a beacon, and it has just turned itself on. The light that once danced along the stone now flows downward, tracing paths unseen before. The team follows it into a cavernous descent, where the air turns metallic and thick, humming faintly with resonance. The tunnel curves into darkness, perfectly smooth, walls gleaming like tempered steel. When their lamps illuminate the space below, they freeze. An immense void opens before them, a hollow stretching into black infinity. The cliff's interior is not solid, it's a hollow shell. The hum becomes rhythmic, deep, and alive. Beneath centuries of stone, an impossible hangar sleeps, vast enough to cradle an ancient ship. The world above has forgotten, but here, silence remembers everything. As the team lowers themselves into the pit, the hum deepens, vibrating through their bones. The walls are smoother now, layered in strange alloys, half fused with stone. Every few meters, patterns emerge, not natural striations, but precise engravings, each one forming concentric circles that spiral toward the abyss. Nadia's instruments flicker with readings of magnetic interference. Malik's voice trembles with awe. This place is not ancient decay. It is ancient design, and somewhere within its depths, a sleeping mechanism waits for the right signal to awaken. They reach a platform suspended above the hollow's heart. Below, a colossal structure lies half buried in ancient sediment, a ship without wings or seams, its hull fused with the cliff. Smooth and metallic, its surface mirrors starlight from cracks above. Malik runs his hand across the surface and finds warmth where there should be cold. Symbols etched into its frame glow faintly, identical to those in the upper chamber. This is no fossil. It's technology preserved in silence, awaiting command. The realization is unbearable. A civilization buried its creation, hiding it from something greater. Malik activates the scanner again. It hums, then suddenly screams with interference. The ship responds. A low vibration fills the chamber. Subtle at first, then rising until it echoes through the rock like thunder. Lines of light race along the hull, converging on a circular mark near its center. Elena steps closer. Her voice falters. The pattern is identical to the one etched on the cliff above ground. The doorway symbol. The ship recognizes the signal, reacting to their presence. A pulse of energy surges through the cavern, throwing shadows across the walls. The mountain awakens once more, answering a call that may never have been meant for them. Then, silence. The light fades. Dust falls like ash. The hum dissolves into a low echo, fading deeper than sound itself. On the scanner, Malik sees a reading, faint but constant. Power remains, buried beneath the layers. The ship never died. It sleeps. Around them, the carvings on the cliff shimmer faintly one last time, their glow spreading through the chamber like dying embers. The explorers stand motionless, realizing they've seen something beyond time, a monument not to arrival, but departure. This is not where something began. It is where something ended and waited to be remembered. The silence stretches like an ancient breath held too long. Then, from the cliff's depths, a tremor begins. Soft, rhythmic, deliberate. Dust rises in gentle spirals. The ground vibrates beneath their boots, not with collapse but with heartbeat. Lights once extinguished flicker again, now brighter, warmer. The hum returns, stronger, layered with tonal harmony, as though the mountain sings. The explorers exchange frozen looks. Something vast has sensed their presence. The air thickens with static and ozone. The stone itself seems to breathe, exhaling heat and light. The hangar is no longer dormant. It is remembering its purpose. Or sure, ain't sure I. The carvings ignite one by one, forming a network of light that stretches from the floor to the vaulted ceiling. The entire cliff transforms into a map of power, its veins aligning with constellations above. Malik's instruments spike beyond calibration. The readings are impossible. A magnetic field envelops them, steady and vast, humming in harmony with their own pulse. Nadia realizes the symbols correspond to frequencies, not language. The stone is resonating, translating vibration into light. For the first time, the hum becomes intelligible. It is not sound, but communication. A blinding surge of light bursts from the central fissure, throwing shadows that twist and reform along the walls. The air ripples like water. Alina feels pressure in her chest. Not fear, but recognition. The symbols on the hull above respond, aligning perfectly with the new pattern around them. The mountain's frequency merges with that of the buried ship. Two systems, long divided, reconnect. The sound grows harmonic, layered with chords that vibrate through their bones. Nadia whispers that it feels alive, as if the cliff itself welcomes something back home. The vibration shifts pitch. Lower now, deeper, resonating through the entire mountain. Stones lift from the floor and hover in still air. Sand moves in spirals, tracing invisible energy currents. Malik mutters that it's drawing power from the planet itself. Nadia watches symbols spiral across her tablet. Not words, but equations. They match no known system of physics. Elena whispers that they are witnessing reactivation, not myth. Every nerve in their bodies tingles, as magnetic fields bend light into shapes, a doorway forming in midair. The hum reaches its crescendo, a single resonant tone that fills the cavern until it feels like the sky itself is vibrating. Then, in an instant, silence. The doorway solidifies into a pane of shimmering light, showing faint silhouettes beyond, neither human nor alien, but familiar. The glow softens, enveloping the explorers. Instruments die, cameras freeze, time seems to stretch thin. In that suspended moment, they understand. The hangar was never meant to contain machines, but memory. It is awakening to remind the world of what it once was, and what it must become again. The light fades to calm. The chamber glows with a breathless stillness, as though the mountain itself exhales relief. The explorers stand among symbols now fixed, carved in perfection. The hum subsides into a low resonance, one note that carries through bone and heart alike. On the walls, new patterns emerge, spiraling into formation. They are not schematics or constellations. They are words, messages rendered in geometry. As dust settles like golden snow, Elena realizes the truth. The mountain was not a hangar for flight, but a monument for memory. The carvings were never meant to guide machines. They were meant to speak to those who would one day return. Nadia deciphers fragments of the message. The symbols speak of departure, not invasion. They describe a people who left when the sky grew red and the oceans turned to dust. They speak of a journey through the stars and a promise to return when the earth was ready to remember. Malik's voice trembles as he reads the translation aloud. Elena closes her eyes, overwhelmed by the gravity of it. Humanity has always searched the stars for its origin. Yet here, buried in stone, is the proof that perhaps it once came home. The carvings pulse again, once, twice, before forming a single enormous spiral of light that fills the chamber. Within it, images flicker, cities made of glass, ships rising from oceans, faces turned toward constellations unseen. The message unfolds not as history, but as memory shared directly with their minds. They see the ancient builders leaving, their vessels vanishing into clouds of radiant mist. Then, silence. A final symbol glows above the spiral, a simple shape mirrored in the human hand. It is the mark of origin, a reminder that everything returning to the earth was born of it. The spiral fades, leaving only a faint, phosphorescent trail across the ceiling. The hangar's silence deepens again. Peaceful now, not empty. The team realizes the hum was a signal waiting for recognition, not activation. The mountain wasn't guarding its secret. It was waiting for someone who could understand it. Elena whispers that the carvings were a message to descendants, a gift left by ancestors who crossed the stars and returned only in memory. Nadia records the final translation. It reads, "We left to remember, we return to remind." As dawn breaks over the desert, the explorers climb from the fissure into the rising light. The cliff no longer hums, yet warmth radiates from its face. The carvings fade under the morning sun, vanishing into silence, their purpose fulfilled. Elena looks back one final time. The oval doorway now sealed, its outline invisible against the rock. Malik stands beside her, silent, reverent. Nadia lowers her tablet. Jonas captures the last frame before the wind erases their footprints. Above them, clouds drift in shapes that mirror the symbols they saw below. The message endures, not in stone, but in those who heard it. Humanity will remember.